doesn't matter whether you're a beginner or a veteran in your fitness journey. This is an ongoing active thing. Like, hey guys, it's your girl Mighty Simone, aka Muscle Money, and you're watching Disney Channel. Okay, y'all, so we coming with a little different video today. Like I said in my last video, we're coming with some more helpful videos and not just my training videos. And if you're wondering what this is a heart monitor. I will link the video up here where I talk about that. Long story short, I have to get surgery, but then I have to get clearance on my heart first, so it's like a whole thing. I'm not gonna re-explain it. You can just click the video. Also, before I start, we just hit 1,000 subscribers today. Shout out to everyone that is here. Thank you so much for subbing, and let's just get into the video. All right, so as you can see by the title in this video, I'm gonna be talking about some things that you should avoid as a beginner in the gym. There's so much noise on the internet. I know it can be hard to like figure out which information to take in, which to disregard, but at the end of the day, you should definitely take everything with a grain of salt. Always do your own research, but I wanted to touch on some things from my perspective that I feel like you shouldn't have to worry about or shouldn't really worry too much about when you're first starting out in the gym. And not just with the gym, this is really just with like gym, nutrition, just fitness in general. The first thing you really shouldn't be doing as a beginner in the gym is tracking your macros. Now, let me explain. Protein is really the main macro you need to focus on. I promise you, you don't have to worry about your carb breakdown and your fat breakdown. It's such a minuscule thing that, like, listen to all that noise about calculating each macro. It's not worth it. Protein is the most important if you're working on your fitness and nutrition. You want to make sure you're consuming enough protein. A. B, as you probably know, protein is really necessary for muscle growth. And obviously, yes, as women, you might not want to get bulky and everything like that, but you probably want to grow that booty. You probably want to grow them legs. You know? So, and you need protein to do that. And while I'm talking about that, this is going to be a bonus right here. Don't just train your lower body. I might do a part 2, speak more on that. But anyway, yeah, protein is good for building muscle. And another thing that I feel like a lot of people don't really know about, especially maybe if you're just starting out, protein is actually really good for burning more calories. I will put some information up here, but long story short, I believe it's called the thermogenic effect. Basically, our body processes different macros differently. So in simple terms, it takes a lot of energy to process protein in the body. So with that said, the energy that it's required to break that down is also a couple additional calories that is a part of your expenditure, if you will. It kind of adds to the amount of calories you're burning in a day. Now, I wouldn't depend on just that for your calorie expenditure, like if you're worried about being in a deficit and stuff like that. But also too, not only is it good for those couple things like building the muscle and helping a little bit more with the low calorie burn, it's also good obviously to maintain any muscle and to make sure that your body is not going to break down the muscle when you're trying to lose fat, for example. So if you're just starting out and you're trying to burn fat, build muscle, whatever, you definitely want to make sure you're consuming as much protein as is necessary for you, because the more protein you consume, like I said, it helps you burn a little more fat in the process just because of the breakdown process, but also it makes sure you keep that muscle in your body, that muscle mass. You really want to make sure you're maintaining that muscle mass because your muscle actually helps you burn even more calories at rest, aka boost your metabolism. And that's kind of what we want. A lot of us probably want our metabolism to be faster. We want to burn more calories at rest. We want to burn more calories while we're actually trying to burn calories. So name of the game, don't worry about tracking all your macros. Protein is the one that you really want to pay attention to. If you're trying to cut, I would try to do at least 1 gram per pound of body weight. But overall, your protein needs really just depends on a lot of things. But the safest bet is always going to be 1 gram per pound of body weight or 1 gram per pound of lean muscle mass, just depending on if you're trying to cut, maintain, or grow. Because then it's also like if you're getting enough calories and you don't have to stress too much about too much protein. But at the end of the day, just consume your protein. So for reference, I weigh myself today, I'm like 135 pounds even, okay? And I have a lot of muscle on my body. So right now I'm trying to recomp some of my body from the little bulk that was kind of unplanned. So with that said, I'm trying to, at minimal, I'm trying to make sure I'm at least hitting the 100 grams of protein. Since I'm not in a deficit per se, I'm not too worried about getting 135 grams. The 103 grams, which is about how much muscle mass I have according to my body composition scale, I'll link that down below. 100, 103, like anywhere between like 100 and 120 is kind of my goal. If I were in a deficit, I would definitely be trying to get over that 100, like closer to the probably 120, 130 area. But right now, since I'm kind of trying to work with what I have and just do a little more recomp, as long as I hit 100 grams, I'm good. And also for more reference, I'm 5'3", like I said, 135 pounds. And yeah, anything else on my body and everything like that. You could just ask me down below if you're interested. All right, so the second thing that you definitely do not need to be doing as a beginner in the gym is lifting aggressively heavy. Like lifting heavy, obviously we see all on the internet, lifting heavy is how you make the gains. Of course, it definitely is. But as a beginner, you don't have to try as hard as someone who's been lifting for say 5 to 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like as a beginner in the gym, any type of stimulus on your muscle is going to trigger growth. You're shocking that muscle, you're challenging that muscle, so it's gonna react to it and it's gonna adapt and it's gonna grow from that. When you get used to said stimulus, whatever weight, whatever we're talking about, the name of the game is just progressively overloading. So you don't have to like lift aggressively heavy. You don't have to worry about that too early on. And honestly too, it's gonna do you more harm than good because you're already gonna be sore as a beginner, but you're gonna be that much more sore if you go too hard in the gym. You don't have to be lifting like the bodybuilders and the power lifters if you're just a beginner in the gym. Just get in the gym and do enough to challenge yourself. I promise you, you're gonna feel it regardless, okay? So don't stress about feeling like you gotta do too much and you're kind of worried about that because like I said, then you're gonna tap into recovery time and then it's gonna put you out of the gym even longer because you're trying to recover and that's gonna mess up your mind, it's gonna mess up your mojo, and then you're probably not gonna end up getting back to the gym as often or as soon as you would like. So take it from me, you don't have to do the most when you're first starting out. Just show up, really. You really just gotta show up. So I hope that makes someone feel better that I just said that. And also, let me add to that, you will also experience newbie gains. So if you don't know what newbie gains are, it basically just goes with what I was saying. Because you're a newbie in the gym and you're getting that new shock, that new stimulus to your muscles that your muscles are in no way used to, you're gonna notice gains pretty quickly. And like I said, it's not gonna take as much work to see such gains. And that's actually one of the most exciting things about first starting out in the gym is that if you're like eating properly and things like that, you will start to see your gains pretty quickly. So for me, I'm not a beginner with my fitness journey. I technically first started when I was like 15, like 10 years ago, but it's been on and off over the years. But anytime I go back, like when I went back this time, like back in 2023, December 2023, when I knew I was about to lock in and really lock in for good, I think I started seeing my legs grow muscle within a week. For me, that's more so because not just newbie gains, but also when you take a hiatus from the gym, if you want to call it that as well, you also kind of experience those same newbie gain effects, but it's muscle memory. So my muscle remembers, oh, okay, she used to hit them legs back in the day. We're gonna go ahead and pack on that muscle. Basically is what's going on. So I tend to notice those gains quickly. Also as well though, my legs are an asset of mine. It's pretty easy for me to grow my legs. I can do it very minimally, but now I'm in the point of my fitness journey where I'm extra trying to make sure they're growing big. Like they're not big enough. I want them bigger and bigger and bigger. But to wrap that up, you don't have to lift aggressively heavy in the beginning, okay? Again, name of the game is more so just showing up and then making sure you're continuing to challenge yourself as you go. All right, and the next thing you should not be doing as a beginner, I do not want you to do this as a beginner in the gym with your fitness journey, nutrition, everything. Don't get discouraged when you're not seeing results. Now, this is a very big thing, and I know this is different from the other two because those were more active things to do. This is more like on your mental. Like this is like, I guess, a passive thing you can call it. If you don't already realize your mental is probably just as important, if not more important than the physical when it comes to your fitness journey. Your mental can be your best friend or your worst enemy. If you do not believe in yourself, if you do not feel like you can go lift that weight, if you do not feel like you're good enough or whatever, your body will follow. Even if you're used to thinking like that, you have to kind of train your mind to get out of that. And that's not just a quick one and done process. I promise you, it doesn't matter whether you're a beginner or a veteran in your fitness journey. This is an ongoing active thing. Like I regularly have to tell myself certain things, regularly lock myself in, regularly be like, yo, like you can do this. Like you're just in your head. Like you can really lift that weight. You was lifting heavy, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's an active ongoing process. So, but I just really want y'all to know that you do not have to be discouraged when you don't see results. Because for one, like I said, you should be experiencing newbie gains as a beginner in the gym. So there is that, but I also don't want you to get too hooked. Like you go do some squats and then you trying to see your booty the next day, or hip thrusts better yet, and try to see your booty the next day. Like, or if you don't see results in a week or two, don't get discouraged, because at the end of the day, it's about that consistency. It's about continuing to show up. Like after a while, you continue to do the same thing, you're gonna start seeing something. And if you really don't see nothing, then take a pause. You're gonna have to just readjust, relook at everything. Okay, what are my workouts looking like? Am I maybe doing a different workout every session? Am I not locking in with my eating? Am I still stuck on the fact that if I eat only 1,000 calories, I'll get to my dream body quicker? Like, babes, you need to eat. Okay, even if you want to lose that weight, I promise you, eating 1,000 calories, that super low calorie, no, don't do that. And also keep in mind too, let this be food for thought for you. If you're only eating 1,000 calories, think of how hard it is to get, let's say if you're 120 pounds, 120 grams of protein in with only 1,000 calories. Babe, you gotta eat. You gotta eat. I promise you, you have to eat. You just have to kind of find what works for you and go from there. There's a little calorie calculator website that you can put in some information and it'll spit out a good guesstimate number for you and you can go from there. All this stuff is not perfect though. I would say try it. Pay very close attention to your weight, maybe on a week-by-week basis. It just really depends on your goals. Let me know if you want a more in-depth video on that, how all that kind of works and what you want to pay attention to and how you should move according to this, etc., etc. So yeah, it just really depends, but you just have to really lock in. Just really pay attention. You'll have a number, you'll work with it for a little bit. If you're locked in and you don't notice some changes, then you can tweak this. If you do notice good changes, you can keep that. If you notice too much of some changes that you weren't trying to do, then you also can cut back. It's just really about paying attention to your body, but first learning your body. Once you learn your body, then you'll know what your body likes, what it doesn't like, how it responds to this, how it responds to that, and then how to adjust from there. That's one of the biggest things when it comes to your fitness journey is just really learning and listening to your body. That's such a big thing. But I just want to say, if you are working out consistently, if you are eating decently, you will eventually see the results. And I promise you, once you see them results, it just goes up from there. Now, mind you, you'll see results and you'll get motivated, but please know that motivation will not last. I'm sure you've seen plenty of reels and TikTok videos. That motivation does not last, but that motivation has to become discipline. You have to be disciplined. I promise you, even your most favorite influencer is not always motivated to hit the gym. I promise you, because we're not perfect. No one's 100% perfect. No one's ever going to be 100% always on. You're going to sometimes be off, whether it's something that's in your control or not, whether it's your mental, because it's like, dang, I'm not feeling it today, whether it's your physical, I'm tired, I just started my period, stuff like that. Like, things are going to happen. You cannot always be 100% on. But the name of the game is, one, giving yourself grace and kind of being careful to toe the line between giving yourself grace and giving yourself excuses. I constantly have that battle myself, but you do have to kind of give yourself grace when it comes to certain things, like I said, especially when it's out of your control. That's all you can do, because otherwise you're going to mess your mental up even more, beating yourself up about it. Also, you just have to listen to your body. Like, you have to determine, am I too tired to go to the gym because I'm too tired, or am I actually exhausted? Like, if I go and do anything more, I'm going to be beating my body to the ground. You just really have to kind of toe that line. But at the end of the day, like I said, you got to be consistent, give yourself grace, and go from there. Like, I promise you, you're not always going to be motivated to go to the gym. If you're depending on just your motivation, it's not going to last. That's why a lot of people don't last in the gym, is because motivation 100% of the time is just simply not sustainable. And when something's not sustainable with anything in life, you're not going to keep to it. Whether it's your nutrition, whether it's your working out, like, that's why a lot of people fail in their journeys early on, is because whatever they started doing is not sustainable. And that goes back to like my second point about not lifting aggressively. Like, if that's not sustainable for you and what you're into, which is not probably going to be as a beginner, you're not going to stick to it. Like I said, you went too hard because you was motivated. Now you're super duper sore. Now you're not getting back for another week or two. And now after that week or two, you're done because you took too long off from the gym and now you're not motivated. It's like a cycle, y'all. So my closing message is, as a beginner in the gym, just show up, lock in, do what you got to do, and you should see results. Now, let me know if you guys want a part 2, because I actually already have a nice little typed up draft for a part 2, because there is definitely more than just what I've talked about today that you should not be doing as a beginner. So definitely let me know if y'all want a part 2. This kind of wraps up part 1. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you want to stick around for more. I actually just finished from the gym myself, wanted to film this video for y'all. I'm really trying to attract more of the female viewership, because right now I think most of my audience is males, and I don't mind having men on my page per se, but sometimes I feel like, especially as a girl with some muscle and, you know, and showing skin and like stuff like that, I feel like some people aren't really here for the right reasons. You know what I mean? It gets kind of weird, you know? But I'm definitely trying to attract more of the females, you know? I want to attract my fellow muscle mommies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, with that said, that wraps this up. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and if you found it helpful. Also, leave a comment down below if I did help you, if I encouraged you in any way. I would definitely love to hear that. I definitely would love to make people feel better about stuff that they're stressing about, especially nowadays with all the noise on social media. Like, the fitness space is very, very saturated with a lot of stuff, and a lot of these videos, people are just yapping and really saying stuff that's not really helpful to you, and it's kind of more so harmful, and it's probably deterring you from the gym and starting. I really hope that this served as even a little bit of an encouragement for you to get in that gym, lock in, and really start your fitness journey, or get back into it if you've fallen off. So yeah, like I said, let me know down below if I've helped you at all, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.